Today I'm going to be running through making a simple club sandwich. Very easy recipe, which you would think, why would you need instructions? But this is an excellent introduction for younger pupils, children, to get used to handling raw meat and to understand about cross-contamination, building up their skills, but also being able to create a nice sandwich for a family lunch. What we're using today then is, you can see I've got them separately here. I've got some mini fillets, chicken mini fillets, and I've got some raw bacon. So we're going to be cooking those after a little bit of preparation first of all. And then we're making 2 club sandwiches. So I've got 6 slices of bread. I've got some spinach, you can use lettuce, any other kind of salad leaves, tomato which you can slice up, mayonnaise, and guacamole. And all of those together are going to create our nice club sandwich that you can have outside in the sunshine in the garden, or even on a winter's day, it doesn't matter, but it's just a little bit of a difference than just having a sandwich. What I'm going to do with them to start with is I'm going to prepare the meat. So we want it to go onto a sandwich, so we want it to be quite flat. So we're going to tenderise the chicken. We use that using a tenderiser or a meat mallet. Flattens it out, but also it does mess around with the proteins. So what happens is it denatures the proteins through something called mechanical agitation. So we're just going to agitate those proteins, tenderise the meat so that when we're flash frying it, it'll cook through quickly, it'll be suitable to go on a sandwich, but it will also have tenderised it, so it will change the texture of the meat as well. So putting it onto a red board to prevent cross-contamination, we want all the bacteria to remain here and not be transferred to the salad items. And I'm going to be using a grease-proof piece of paper just to put before. These can be quite brutal, they can really mess with the actual texture of the chicken and it can break it up with the mini fillets being small. So by putting a little bit of a barrier between it, it will just keep the chicken all whole together. So we pop the chicken fillets onto the board, do a couple of them at a time. This over the top. Give them a little bit of a whack, and then they are going to be nice and flat. So I'm going to do the rest of these and then I will come back to you to show you how we're going to season and flash fry them. Now that all the chicken has been tenderised, I've flattened all that out, what I'm going to do is add this to a frying pan or griddle pan. I'm using a griddle pan today, just gives a nice colour to the meat. And we're going to leave that with a little bit of olive oil. I'm frying it on 4, so medium heat, or you can put it onto 4 if electric. I'm going to add these in and then leave these just to fry a couple of minutes on each side until it's completely cooked through, and then we can take that out and cook the bacon. So whilst that is frying, I'm going to prepare the tomato. So I'm going to go onto a green board now so that we're preventing that cross-contamination, using a knife that's not been near the chicken, and I wash my hands after preparing the chicken as well. So tomato, we're going to use claw grip, and we want it into nice slices. So we'll claw grip to keep it steady, and back and forward, as I've said before. If you can with a tomato, very sharp knife or a serrated knife will cut through it easily. If your knife is blunt, the skin on a tomato or a pepper can be a little bit of a challenge to get through. So slicing these through, moving my hands backwards all the time, keeping that claw grip until I have some nice slices of tomato ready. The tomato will just stay on the side, and we'll move the other ingredients onto here now as they are cooked. So the chicken now will be almost ready to turn over, and then we can cook the other side whilst we start to prepare the bread and the toast. Being careful, obviously these are frying, so you need to be careful it could spit a little bit. I've used rapeseed oil today rather than olive oil, just with it having that higher burning temperature. Good for frying rather than things like salad dressing. So now that I've turned that over, I'm going to allow that to continue to cook, and I'm going to get 2 of my slices of bread, pop those in the toaster, and then we'll come back when this chicken is cooked and we have toast, and I'll show you how you're going to construct everything with the bread. As you can see, the chicken is now cooked. I'm just removing the last couple of pieces from here. The chicken, I did add a seasoning to once in the pan, so I've just put a little bit of salt and pepper scattering over the chicken fillets so that they've been seasoned before they were cooked. So what I'm doing now is just going to add in the bacon to fry for a second. The toast is in the toaster, so that will be done in a minute. and then we are ready to construct the sandwich. The bacon doesn't need seasoning, it's a naturally salty meat anyway, and we've got the pepper already on the chicken ready. The only other thing now to do is to start to build the sandwich together. So once this bacon is fried on both sides, a little bit of browning to it, I'll show you how to construct the sandwich. Now that all the bacon has been fried, I've now got all of my filling ingredients ready here. So I've got the fried bacon, I've got the mini fillet chicken, I've got the spinach, and I've got my sliced tomatoes. Then I've got my breadboard, 2 pieces of toast and 4 slices of bread. I've then got guacamole and mayonnaise. Now, personal preference, some people might just prefer to use mayonnaise on its own. Guacamole just adds another element to it, quite a smooth texture with regards to being the avocado that's been mushed up, but it's got the garlic in there. You can get a little bit of a tang with the lemon juice that's also used as well. The lemon prevents the enzymic browning of the avocado, so that keeps it from going brown. So we're using both of these today, but any of the salad kind of dressings that you would like to use, you can use salad cream if you wanted. To construct it, what we're going to do is you start with one of the slices of bread and you add one of the salad dressings to it. We always want to put a little bit of a barrier on the bread, and that prevents the bread from going soggy when we're adding moist ingredients to it like tomatoes and also any of the fluids that are still on the meat. We're going to start by adding the bacon to the bottom layer, and we're going to pop the spinach on. Then we're going to add a piece of toast, and then we'll add the second layer. So once the spinach is on, pop the toast on, add the chicken fillets to the bread, like so. Get a second slice of bread. I'm just going to use a spoon on this with the guacamole and just use the back of the spoon. I'm going to add the guacamole on, and then all we're going to pop on is the tomatoes to finish this off and slice it together. So we can add a couple of slices of tomato to the chicken, add the bread over the top, and then we are going to slice through it. So I'm using a bread knife just because there's quite a lot of different layers to go through. Serrated edge, rather than tearing through all those ingredients, will give them a really clean slice. So you can see a lovely club sandwich ready to eat for lunch.